There's nothing wrong with growing, but if you're growing for the wrong reasons and you don't have clarity as to why you're doing it, some people should actually just be like the one man or one woman band because they have no interest in managing a team. But you have to get super clear on that and then build your business around that lifestyle that you want to live and not have a lifestyle that's built around your business.
The trust that you build in showing the process and being okay. Like if I made a video right now, you'd see like 30 little sticky notes. Like, what the heck is he doing with sticky? I got some sticky notes over there. Messy desk, just like, but you bring in like the human side of you.
If you try to be everything to everyone with your personal brand, and you try to be everything to everyone inside of your business, you're going to be nothing to no one. And what I mean by that is whether it's digital marketing or coaching or video stuff or film, whatever it is that your widget is, if you don't know who your ideal client is, you're going to be talking like literally through people, right? And not to them. You're going to miss all of the people that actually want to do business with you because you're so general.
On episode 437 of the podcast, we talk about getting crystal clear on what you actually want in your business, not what others want for you. We talk about building your business around your desired lifestyle and not the other way around. And we also talk about not trying to be everything to everyone and narrowing down your ideal client and speaking directly to them. What's up, my friend? Today, I've got an awesome conversation with my friend Adam McChesney, who is the CEO and founder of Builders of Authority. He's got this incredible story. He walked away from a $200,000 a year medical device sales job to build not one, but two seven-figure businesses in record time. And he's going to share all the guts of how he did that and what we can walk away knowing and maybe applying into our own video businesses. If you're brand new here, welcome. My name is Ryan Coral. I'm the founder of this podcast, Grow Your Video Business. I also run a video production company called Tell Studios. I've been doing that for like 20 years, a little over 20 years. And this show is my opportunity to bring in other experts to share their expertise, and help us figure out how to run better businesses. And then I get to share sometimes my own pitfalls and things that I've learned, all of this sage advice and wisdom that I've collected over all of the years. I've also I love business books and coaching and courses and masterminds and all those things. I've invested so much time and money. I'm like a sponge for that kind of stuff. And so my hope is that on this show, I can share the things that I'm learning, what's working in my business, what's not, and all of that stuff. So welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And if it is your first time here, I want to invite you to a workshop that I've put together that takes my 20 plus years of building a team and landing like 5- and 6-figure jobs, and actually doing that while maintaining a healthy, happy marriage, being present and available for my kids, and enjoying not working endless hours. If that's of interest to you, I want you to access this workshop and kind of take the biggest nuggets that I've learned in my own video business and maybe apply those in your own life and business so that you can reap some of the benefits of all the hard work and the dreams that you have for your own video business. You can get access to this workshop by going to studiosherpas.com/10xfilmmaker. It's the number 10, the letter X, 10x filmmaker. Studiosherpas.com/10x filmmaker. And really, like 10x, if you haven't read the book, 10x is easier than 2x. Read that book. Amazing, amazing insights and takeaways. But 10x, I see this as like 10 times more freedom in your life. Maybe 10 times the income, 10 times the fulfillment, 10 times the impacts, lots of different things that you can do in your business if you plan accordingly and if you focus on the right things. And that's what I hope to be teaching you inside of this workshop. Hopefully that you're walking away with things that you can do to make your life and business better because of the mistakes that somebody else has made before you. So anyway, check that out. Thank you for letting me share that. And let's get into today's interview with Adam. Here we go. What is up, my friend? Hey, welcome to another episode of the show. Today with me is Adam McChesney, who is the CEO and founder at Builders of Authority. What's up, dude? I had to double check. I'm like, wait, did I say it wrong? We're here. We made it. You made it. Thanks for being with us, Adam.
Hey, thanks for having me. You got it right the second time. That's all that matters. And you got the Chesney, McChesney right? So we're all good.
Classic Coral. And I could have just like read the back, like what's actually right behind you. Here I am looking at these notes here. What the heck? Okay, so you're a serial entrepreneur. We met at Social Media Week Lima. I got to see you speak, and you are building things, right? So I think it's very appropriate that you have that in your name. Where did you get your start in business? Like when did you realize like, hey, I want to do my own thing?
Yeah. So I spent 5 years in medical device sales right out of college. Small company for about 18 months here in St. Louis. And then I worked for a company called ResMed for a little over 3 years. So if anybody's familiar with CPAP equipment, the masks, the devices, all that stuff, I managed about a $25 million a year territory here in the state of Missouri. And I got promoted at the age of 26, made $200,000 my first full year at the age of 27, and was like, oh my gosh, like I felt like I finally made it, right? And so that was what I thought I was going to end up like being, 10 years down the line. And so that happened at 26 going into 27. So I had just proposed to my now wife, Delaney, in November of 2018. And right before Thanksgiving, I was traveling a bunch. I was sitting in a hotel room, and I'm like, I love the lifestyle of having $200,000 a year. It wasn't like I was spending money crazily or anything like that. But I was like, it's comfortable, it's good, it's whatever. But I'm traveling all the time. I'm in and out of sleep labs at night and meeting with doctors in the morning, and then durable medical equipment companies. Like, it's a grind in order to get to where I'm at, right? So I typed in to Google how to make money online, and I got retargeted by an ad coming back on Facebook that basically said, hey, what if you could own this? It was a picture of this shiny multi-family or apartment complex. Like, what if you could own this without having to pay for it up front, without having to worry about tenants, without having to worry about maintenance and all that stuff? And I was like, I'm also looking into real estate. This is kind of interesting. So it was a course that taught me how to build digital real estate through digital marketing. So building websites that I owned and operated, ranking those websites, ranking Google business profiles, and then running paid ads. So I bought that course 2018, 2019, my wife and I get married, and going into 2020, I had built up almost 200 websites that I didn't really do anything with. They were all kind of just like out there, case studies, whatever, because I was afraid almost of like, what if this works? What if I have to actually make the decision between this medical device career that on the outside looking in is like what everybody would want, and me chasing something much bigger and better for myself. So going into 2020, I literally said, hey, by the end of this year, I'm going to put my 2 weeks in. I'm going to leave. I'm going to actually build this into a business. Right now, it's a hobby and a side hustle. So we all know what happened in 2020 with the pandemic. It escalated my ability to be able to do it because I wasn't traveling. I was cooped up in my home, not really having to work much. And so I started building more sites and doing it for brands and people. Built up $10,000 a month in recurring revenue and said, you know what? The heck, we just bought our forever dream home in May. 6 weeks later, I put my 2 weeks in, and then the rest was kind of history. I went all in and started to realize that, oh my gosh, I'm not selling CPAPs and medical devices anymore. I had one competitor in that space, and now I'm in digital marketing where there's hundreds of thousands of options of people that do exactly what I do. And so that first month in July 2020, I sold $0 of new revenue. So I was literally making more money, doing more stuff while also juggling a medical device sales career. So I knew something had to change. I started investing into masterminds in August of 2020, started to learn about personal branding, which kind of catapulted my agency over the next year and a half. So we grew that to 7 figures in 15 months. I became a franchisee of a digital marketing agency. I then became a partner of that agency, had some issues last year going into 2023 into 2024, exited that and kind of restarted everything under the Builders of Authority brand. So we have coaching and community side, right, where we're teaching people how I built my agency through social media and personal branding. We teach some stuff on digital marketing, but we relaunched the agency back in October of 2024. Once all the legal stuff got finalized, my non-compete got dropped, and we've already grown that to another 7-figure business in about 6 months. So it's been That's a lot that happened in the last 7 years, but that's the Cliff Notes version.
That is amazing. Okay, so our target audience for this show, filmmaker, owns a business or owns a job, depending on how we look at this, wants to grow, wants to make more money, have more margins, be more profitable, not have to do all of the busy work, enjoy the work more, because we all know that as you are a owner of the things, you end up doing all of the things and then forget, like, wait, why am I doing this? I forget, what was my first love? Oh, it's video, it's storytelling. Oh yeah, I remember that. What's your best piece of advice for somebody in this service-based business that is just trying to figure it all out?
There's a lot of different ways I could answer that, but I think in order to sum it up is getting super clear on what it is that you want. So when I first started growing, right, like I had the same recollections of like, oh, I traveled all the time. All I wanted to do was sit in front of a computer all day and build cool websites and get results for clients. That's all I did. And then all of a sudden I started realizing like, well, I can't do this and sell and account manage and be a head of HR as I was scaling like all of the different hats that we wear as entrepreneurs. But then I started to get around people that were like, Adam, your focus should be building a 7-figure agency because everything changes once you get to 7 figures. And I did that in 15 months. And I know people that have just now done that after being in the business for 10 years. I know people that have been doing this for 20 years and never got to that. And I did it in 15 months the first time and just did it 6 months the second time. Once I got there, the first time, and once I got there this time, it's like nothing changes. Your problems are intensified. Yep. You are making more money, but you're having to hire more and build out processes and systems and do all the different things that are required as a 7-figure agency or a 7-figure business, right? So I was building things because other people told me to build it, not because it's what I wanted to build. So often, right, I coach agency owners now and coach other business owners where they're like, hey, I want to go do this because I saw somebody else do it and I love their lifestyle. I'm like, no, you love the picture that they posted on social media where they were on vacation, not the 7-figure problems that they had to deal with. So there's nothing wrong with growing, but if you're growing for the wrong reasons and you don't have clarity as to why you're doing it, some people should actually just be like the one man or one woman band because they have no interest in managing a team. But you have to get super clear on that and then build your business around that like lifestyle that you want to live and not have a lifestyle that's built around your business. So that's what I would recommend everybody get super clear on what they actually want and make sure it's what you want, not what other people want for you.
Yeah. Oh man, that's really good. Make sure it's what you want, not what other people want. Make sure it's not just, I mean, 2 interviews ago, this is the same thing. It's like we boil this down to like, you got to know what you want because you can look at the work that Ryan's doing and be like, oh man, that's the kind of stuff I want. Those are the kind of, I want to have a studio. I want to have a team. And I'm like, be careful what you wish for because as soon as you go from solo to, now you've got a team, now you're managing people and then you go from like, working out of your house to having a studio. Now you've got overhead. Now you got a bunch of other things that you need to be thinking about. It's like, more money, more problems, more, there are plenty of things, but it's like, think through that. Don't just assume that also, oh man, I would love to book a 5-figure job. I'd love to book a 6-figure job. It's like, okay, but also just know that those jobs require a lot more stress, a lot more things to manage, a lot more people. And you probably won't, your margin probably won't be the same, a $100,000 job versus a $20,000 job. So it's like, you got to think through those things and start defining what it is that you want. I love that you started us there. I think that's really, really solid. What would you say is a common, as you're working with people, helping them on their personal brand, what's a big mistake, like something that a lot of us overlook when it comes to the importance of this?
So when you're starting to build a personal brand, you want everyone to like you and you want to be everything to everybody, right? Yeah. And that doesn't go away, right? Like, even though I like mainly work with home service businesses and contractors inside of our agency and in our community, it's more so for the entrepreneur that's looking to grow a personal brand in a variety of different industries, I still want to help everybody, even though I know that I may just be providing value and they may never pay me, right? But if you try to be everything to everyone with your personal brand, and you try to be everything to everyone inside of your business, you're going to be nothing to no one. And what I mean by that is whether it's digital marketing or coaching or video stuff or film, whatever it is that your widget is, if you don't know who your ideal client is, you're going to be talking like literally through people, right? And not to them. You're going to miss all of the people that actually want to do business with you because you're so general. 99% of industries now, there's hundreds of thousands of options, whether it's freelancers, actual companies, large companies, small companies, AI, right? You need to break through that noise by making sure you know who it is you can serve at the highest level, because you'd rather have 5 people consistently watching your content and consistently engaging, and then they all 5 become clients rather than like going viral and having hundreds of thousands of people that with eyeballs on your stuff and they never pay you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. The fact that you have built 2 businesses, 2 7-figure businesses, no big deal, whatever, all in a day's work, all in a 15 months work. What's the, I don't know, like what's the secret? Like what did you do well that worked?
I think the biggest aspect the first time, which parlays a little bit into the second time, was the personal branding and how I built it to be so different than most marketers, right? So from the digital marketing aspect, most marketers, what they do is they do the show up and throw up. They go on social media and they're trying to get Ryan's attention or the business owner's attention. And they're saying, hey, here's this case study of what I did one time 10 years ago for one client and it worked for one day, not an entire year, right? It's all the bait and the switch stuff. And then with that, you go to that digital marketer's profile and it's one big sales pitch, right? So they have the pin post of all that crazy stuff. They have the Facebook cover photo that's like, I can guarantee you so many new clients in X amount of days or whatever. And then they're also cold DMing like every single person that they interact with, right? So that's like the norm. Now, my mentor, who's still a mentor to this day, and I'm still a part of his mastermind, it was the first community that I ever joined. He was literally like, I don't care what industry you're in, you need to break it down to who your ideal client is and talk literally to them. And so what that meant is if I'm going to post twice a day on Facebook, so that's 7 days a week, 14 posts a week, only 1 or 2 of those posts are actually going to be about my business. Because even when I make those business posts, and if it's an incredible post, only the people that are most engaged with my stuff are likely going to comment, like it, share it, whatever. You're going to miss so much because people are like, oh my gosh, that's just Adam promoting his stuff. So 80 to 90% of my content is to the ideal client of the entrepreneur, the business owner, sharing the ups and downs of the journey, sharing my personal life, sharing motivation and discipline, because it's a lot more likely for them to then go look at my profile and say, oh my gosh, I really resonated with what Adam said here. He motivated me to do this. And then they realize what it is that I do. So it's almost a warm invitation to get to know me without me trying to shove my agenda down their throat. And so that really sparked the ability for us to grow pretty quickly, because my clients then started to sign up through that stuff. And then they started to refer me to other people. And then all of a sudden I started blowing up in some of these Facebook groups where people were like, who's the person for SEO? Who's the person for digital marketing? X, Y, and Z. And then they would start to tag me. And so it kind of just became this revolving door. So what ended up happening the second time, though, was that I had built up 4 and 5 years of experience in building this personal brand. And I took 6 to 7 months off of running an agency. So the entire time of having people reaching out once they realized that I was no longer there, and they were basically like, Adam, whenever you relaunch this agency, like put me at the top of your list, right? And so I had built up kind of this suspense of like, it's going to happen again. but I can't help you right now. But when I do, this is what we're going to offer.
Mhm.
And so I took the brand that had previously taken me 4 to 5 years to build, and then I just put it on this rocket ship, but also knowing that I didn't want to go back and make the mistakes that I had done previously, meaning still grow too fast, hire the wrong people, partner with the wrong people, be a part of the wrong communities and masterminds. Because I had so much trash information from people that were like, Adam, go grow a 7-figure agency. And they're telling me I got an 8-figure agency. And then you realize like they never even had a 7-figure one. So absorbing the wrong information, I just got super tunnel vision. And for the last 6 months, I've had my head down, just saying, this is the play we're going to run. This is how we're going to build it. This is how we're going to grow it. So brand plus experience plus knowing now what I want this time has allowed for us to do it much quicker than we did it the first time.
That's really cool. So you've got a lot of experience working with a lot of businesses. If you were to, have you worked with any video production businesses?
Not from like a deliverable standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, we have one person that's in our mastermind and coaching community that does that plus social media management, but not from hey, I can help you go get more business or more leads with digital marketing.
So what would be your best guess? Like if I said, okay, Adam, like I want you to, I want to consider hiring you. What do you think are going to be the gaps in my business I'm a creative, I'm wanting to scale my business. And let's just say I've dabbled in a little bit of social media, maybe I've tried ads, but that didn't work. What are we going to cover? And what do you think like my biggest takeaway is going to be from our conversation?
Yeah. So most marketers and any creatives at all, so whether that's on the video side or social media management or whatever, is they're so good at doing the thing for the other people, but they're not great at doing it for their own business. So it's like, I'm going to go build somebody else's house first before I go build my own. You got to build your house first and then go build everybody else's. So, this is speaking from experience, right? Like we're now finally rebuilding our website 6 months in, but it took me 1.5 years to rebuild it the first time. So it's like, I'm getting better. I'm learning. I'm doing all those different things, right? But so many people struggle to go get more clients. And they're like, I'm doing all this incredible work. And then I go look at their Facebook page, whether it's their personal or business. I'm like, but nobody knows about it because you haven't really been posting about it. You've been super inconsistent. And then when I go to their websites, right, because I have a lot of friends that are in this space, and I take a look at their stuff and I'm like, but you told me you only work with nonprofits, or you told me you only work with corporate or IT companies, and your website is the most like generic, it looks like you do everything for everybody type of thing. So getting super clear that all of your own marketing and branding is consistent as if you were your own client, because you really are.
Yeah, that's gold. For the longest time in 2012, when we created this new brand, our corporate commercial brand, I said, hey, we'd been doing high-end wedding films before that for a bunch of years, and just we're creating these gorgeous, meaningful, beautiful films for these families. And I said, okay, I want to start doing that same thing, but for businesses. I want to tell their story and just make this, just as beautiful and engaging as possible. And so we did that. And we just went to market with like the importance of a brand story. If you got to have a brand story, if you're not communicating, it's like, what makes you different than, your competitor? And it wasn't even until, 2017, I think, like 5 years into this brand, we're like, holy crap, we don't have our own brand story. How are we, what in the world are we communicating to our clients by saying like, hey, this is going to change your business. Ryan, where's yours? Is this actually going to change your business? Oh yeah, shoot. Don't have the bandwidth capacity, but man, that has made such a big difference. Pretty much anytime we've come up with a new idea, a new offer, we're like, oh, let's actually build this for us so that our clients can see. And then, so we have case study. So if we ran ads and we wanted to run ads for our clients, if we could run ads, anybody that we're on a call with, it's like, you're here because you saw our ad. So we can help you do that same thing. Right. Just so good. I love that you brought that up, because as a filmmaker, we have the most powerful tool at our disposal. And if we're only using it for our clients, we're missing out on a massive opportunity for us to be able to do this for us, to become our own commercial, so that we're not just telling somebody you should do this. It's like, why aren't you doing it?
Yeah. Yep. Love it.
Okay. So I think that's super smart. Is there a platform or a strategy that you think right now, like as a filmmaker, as video production, like this is our golden opportunity to be doing this and or to be doing it in this place?
Yeah, I think, literally, and I was doing some training the other day on a webinar, right? In my team, so I have a personal social media manager on our team right now, where she's sending me all these ideas of what reels I need to do and what the trends are and all this stuff, right? But she's like, Adam, you need to make sure that your number one role, right? You're the CEO, you're the owner, whatever, but like you need to be a content creator in the day of your life of everything that you're doing. So I had like the little DJ Osmo, right? Where, I used that at the event that I was speaking at, recorded me up close, right? Always be creating content, because what goes into you doing a nice, incredible video for your client, you can show that off all day long. But what people really want to know is, what does Ryan's process look like? Like all of the deliverables, anybody can create the video, make it look super shiny, but like, who is Ryan and his company behind the scenes? What goes into the production, the creation of it? Because for filmmakers, right, no different than digital marketers, AI and technology is attacking our industry, right? So our jobs, right, or our companies are always going to be at the forefront of, if we don't innovate and consistently separate ourselves from the competition, and now the competition is also technology, we are going to be left behind. So I do as much behind the scenes stuff as I possibly can, or I write longer posts, or I do things to say, hey, this is our process. And I give it all the way for free, because 99% of people aren't going to do it.
Yeah.
What people will do is they'll say, oh my gosh, Ryan or Adam or whoever is a subject matter expert at this. I may not be in the market for it right now. I may not be able to afford it, even if I am in the market. But when I am in the market and when I can't afford it, that's who I'm going to, because they made me feel comfortable that they are the right person for what I need. You don't get that by just showing off the end result. You have to show end to end what makes you and your company you.
Yeah, that the trust that you build in showing the process and being okay. Like if I made a video right now, you'd see like 30 little sticky notes. Like, what the heck is he doing? I got some sticky notes over there. Messy desk, just like. But to like, you bring in like the human side of you, which is that is worth so much. The trust factor just increases so much, because you're not trying to make everything look so perfect and you've got your filters on and everything's polished and whatever. Filmmakers, like, there's this extra challenge that what we would be creating as behind the scenes, we're like, ooh, I don't want people to judge me and think that that's the kind of videos that we would make for them. Like, so there's this weird balance of like, oh, if I'm going to make behind the scenes, like, it's going to have to be, I've got to have my sweet lights. I got to have my good camera. It's like, getting out of that mindset it's been a big challenge for me. I mean, I started working with Jessica 2.5 years ago over at Now Marketing. And to get to that spot where it was like, okay, like everything doesn't have to be perfect, but this is what we do. We try to create perfect videos for our clients. That mindset has been a struggle for a whole bunch of years. And it took me forever to get to the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to just start creating, and it can be messy. But, I think there's this, to your point, there's this interest. It's why documentaries are so popular. It's why people love watching outtakes. It's why people love watching and seeing behind the scenes. Like, we love to see how the sausage is made. It's so interesting. We feel a part of something. We feel invited into something. And when that happens, it's like trust increases. People get to know your personality a little more, which, unless you're in person with them, like, this is the next best opportunity for them to get to know you. And the more open, honest, authentic, real you can be, that's when you're going to find your ideal clients that are going to say, like, I like this person. I like, they don't have it all together, but that's me too, right? People can align with that. I think that's really solid advice.
Yeah, definitely. I think People want that human element. So even if we're selling the end product that's like perfect, right? They know that the entire process isn't. So if you perceive it to be perfect, they're going to say, I wonder what's getting hidden from me. I wonder
Mhm.
what's off,
Yeah.
because business
Yeah.
is business, right? Whether it's digital marketing, filmmaking, contracting, doesn't really matter. There's always stuff behind the scenes that are not always perfect. And if you try to make it seem as if it's perfect, you're really just probably covering up for something that's not.
Yeah. All right. So we've got the importance of social content, trying to create stuff to invite people into your process. I think that's genius. And if you don't have a process, maybe it's time to just like kind of write down some of the things that might be your process, so you can say like, okay, yeah, this is a process. And then you can start sharing your process and people can think like, oh, you're legit. Because as soon as you like name something or have a few steps for something, people are like, oh, okay, yeah, that's like you must be a real business, like whatever. But having a process, super important. Creating that content that sort of dives into that so people can build trust. What would you say, again, to the filmmaking company? What is an opportunity that we should be taking hold of to expand our reach and to try to land more of our ideal clients?
So I'm going to go dive in a little bit more in the digital marketing side, right? More so on your website and on your Google business profile. So I've created hundreds and hundreds of websites at this point. I've had local SEO strategies and I've had nationwide SEO strategies, right? So if, for example, right, you're a filmmaking company and you just want to focus on local businesses, one of the hacks, quote unquote, to SEO and ranking when people are typing in whatever the keyword is near them or what the city is, if you're in St. Louis or you're in Dallas or you're wherever, you want to make sure you have a area served section that basically has every single city and suburb around where you would go, or somebody would drive to you, right? If they came to your studio to actually hire your services. I very rarely see that when it comes to taking a look at filmmaking websites. It's here's our homepage, here's our about us, here's our portfolio, here's maybe a contact us page, and here's some of the services that we offer. So that's a hidden little trick that will allow for you to start ranking for some more keywords, and then also putting industries that you serve on your website as well. So for example, if you do a lot of stuff in the tech space, or if you do construction or whatever it is, weddings, right? You need to make sure that you have those industries that you serve or event styles, event types on your website, because it will organically start to rank you for more stuff. 90% of people aren't doing that. If you do that and stay consistent with it, then that's going to be super valuable. And again, if you're doing it on a nationwide where you're like, hey, we work all over the country, but we just serve this niche or sets of niches, make sure that is all on your website, because just because you tell people that, hey, I specialize in X, Y, or Z, and we'll do it all over the country, Google doesn't know that. A lot of people don't know that. So just because you say it doesn't mean it's going to be something that's going to start driving in leads for that. You have to also, put work into the actual system on your website.
Yeah, love that. But is that like, so if I'm putting different areas, am I creating a blog post for this city or this township, or?
Yeah, it's not necessarily a blog post. I mean, it depending upon how your website is built, it would act as like a sub page of your website, no different than a blog post.
Yeah.
But on most sites, blogs are associated in a different light, especially from the search engine standpoint, than a typical page. So if I was looking at a website and it had home, about us, the contact us page at the very end, the blog right there, you could have industries with a drop down, and then you could have area served with a drop down. So it'd almost be like a forward facing page. So that way they click on that page and they're like, oh, wow, okay, they've done work in all these little cities, towns, and suburbs. That makes sense. Okay, I see my cities there. I'm going to reach out. Or they type in a keyword and your website shows up accordingly.
Yeah, that's great. That's helpful. What would you say a lot of people are doing today in terms of digital marketing, things that you're just like, this is not really a thing anymore? You're kind of wasting your time.
Blogs.
Yeah.
So like I always tell people, right? So like we put together very highly impactful, highly intense content roadmap plans for our clients when they come on and do SEO for us. And there's usually, depending upon, so for example, right, like let's just use the example that you serve maybe 15 different industries that you're comfortable and you really, really like doing, and you have 35 different cities that you can service inside of your area, or that you just really want to make sure that when somebody types in a keyword, you show up. You can take every single service that you offer, every single city that you offer it in, and every single industry. So for example, like take a suburb, take video production as a service offering, and then take an industry.
Mm-hmm.
Technology, video production in suburb. That's like such a far and wide and deep page on your website. Those are hundreds and hundreds of pages of all the different combinations and the different stuff you can put together that will get you more business than a blog. So blogs are great, right? But they're usually ranking for you for subject matter expertise stuff and or things that you can use from a branding standpoint. So if you're using it from a branding standpoint, hey, I'm going to write this blog, I'm going to post it on social media, I'm going to send it out in my email newsletter, then that's great. I'm not saying don't do that, but you're not going to get leads from writing a blog. With that being said, right, there is a way to do it. So blogs in and of itself are outdated, in my opinion. Data is basically confirming that for the most part. But if you also SEO the back end of that blog, that's going to be more beneficial. So what I would refer to on that, if I wrote a blog as a filmmaker and said the top 5 reasons to hire a video production company instead of DIY, like that's a great blog because you're also addressing some things that people would be like, okay, well, if I do it correctly with the right SEO and the right all those things, there's a chance where you could come up on the first page of Google from a nationwide standpoint for some of those key terms that people are typing in. But if you don't offer nationwide services, or people start to find that blog and they're not your ideal client, it's like another vanity metric. So you would change that by saying the top 5 reasons why, as a St. Louis business, you would hire a video production company instead of DIY, or if you're an HVAC company or a tech startup, whatever the industry is that you're trying to do. Now that starts to make sense. But so many people keep them so vague and generalized. So Google goes and ranks you as vague and generalized.
Right. That makes sense. What I'm not clear on is if I was going to create not a blog post, but the other page that you mentioned, what industry, location, and the service, right? Video production in Detroit, working on auto suppliers, something like that.
Yep.
What is that page? Is it just like an information page that I'm kind of copying and pasting for every industry, but just on that page, I'm changing the name of the city or the industry?
So you'll want to write unique content across, not just change the name, because Google will penalize for duplicate content. But yes, it is very much more so like an informational section. So if you think about a service page on your website for video production, it's talking about probably generalized video production. It's saying the different packages you offer. It's saying the different services with inside of video production. So here's what the whole process looks like, right? You would then take that same foundation and the same template and then go put it over for auto suppliers in Detroit. You would add a little bit more content, right? So this is why we do this in Detroit for auto suppliers. So you would add in those keywords for the industry and for the location while also changing up the content. But yeah, it'll look more like a standard page on your website versus a blog that's kind of, again, more for reading and educational purposes.
Yeah. And then that page, am I linking it out somewhere on my website, or I just create the page and then know that if I've got the SEO stuff and the titles, that it's probably going to get picked up at some point?
Yeah. So it's really on the back end of your website. It's quote unquote hidden, but indexed. So Google can find it.
Huh. Yeah. That's cool. I'm going to try that. That's good. What software, like what are you building the majority of your websites on?
We're using WordPress.
Yeah. Love WordPress. Classic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I wonder how many websites do you think have been built on WordPress?
Oh, whatever I would guess, I would be way off.
That's amazing. And then what would you say is your favorite tool for managing, digital marketing? So if I, again, like if I want to DIY this whole thing, what has been like one of your favorite softwares that have helped streamline all of the, or not all of the things, but a lot of the things?
Yeah, there is a platform called Search Atlas. So it launched about a year ago. Basically, what it does is it combines a bunch of different tools that are out there in the marketplace, but you can manage your Google Business Profile from there, meaning you can schedule and automate Google Business Profile posting. You can also see all the different keywords that people search. So you can't like doing just SEO based on like, oh, I think this is what people are searching. No, you want tangible data that says this keyword is searched 300 times a month in your local area, right? And then from there, you're able to leverage some AI to be able to fix some things on your website, build upon. It has a plugin directly connected to WordPress, so you can literally design and upload those pages with templates in there. Yeah, that's it right there. So we've been using it for a little over a year for our own companies, and then we use it a lot in our agency stuff. But I think like the basic plan is like $99 a month, which if you're just doing your website, it's literally gonna be able to give you all of the ideas, all of the things, audit your site, look at your competitors too, right? Because like what I always tell people is SEO is so unique and different compared to paid ads. So if you think about paid ads, right, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Google paid ads, is you are going and competing in a marketplace specifically that you're paying for exposure to get to the first page of Google, right? Or in Facebook, you're paying to do that. Well, on Facebook, you can't always guarantee that when somebody sees your ad that they're actively like, oh my gosh, I need this. Most people don't just wake up and are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad Adam and Ryan put up a Facebook post and I did X, Y, and Z, right? Now on the Google ad side of things, right? When you get to that first page of Google and you can do it literally immediately by launching that ad, what you're seeing there is you're going above and beyond the organic stuff. Well, a lot of people are just positioned to say, hey, Adam and Ryan just paid for that ad. I want to go to the profile with the most organic Google business profile, with the highest rating, with the best reviews, all of those different things, or I'll also go see what type of content they have on their website. Every market, every industry, every whatever is so different and so unique, whereas it's pretty generalized on ads. You go spend money, you're likely going to get to the top or the exposure that you want. It may or may not turn into business right away. With SEO, it can take a little bit longer, but it's so dependent upon your competition, how long they've been doing it, how long you've been doing it. Some markets, it's much easier. Some, it's way more complex. But it's one of those things that you have to be able to analyze data to know where you're at, where your competitors are at, and what you need to do.
Yeah, dude, I love that. That's great. I pulled that up. I didn't search it. It's actually one of my tabs on my phone. I can't remember where I saw it, but I've got like 9 tabs that are currently open that I need to do something with, and I'm going to look more into that.
That's awesome.
Dude, great insights. I love just hearing you. You're obviously passionate about what you do. You're well-versed in this space. So congrats on making a big shift. I've got one of my best friends. He's in med device. He's been in it a long time. And actually in 2018, I think it was, or 19, he left his job that was incredibly well-paying. He left his job, bought an RV, took his family of 4 and toured the country, and he wasn't really sure what he was going to do when they got done, but he really, really wanted to do this. And he came back, and his company offered him a job, and he got right back in. And anyway, really fun. But I just love where you were at, and to see you in this updated sweet spot. It's pretty cool, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. How can people, if they're interested in working with you, if they want to know more about all the things Adam McChesney is up to, where do they go? What do they do?
Yeah, you can go to AdamMcChesney.com. So it's just Adam and then Mick and then literally Chesney. So like Kenny Chesney with the Mick in front of it. You can also find me pretty much anywhere on social media. I'm usually always wearing the red shirt with the branded stuff. And then if you want to join our free Facebook group, I post in there consistently every single day, tips, strategies, insights, etc. That's just Builders of Authority. Type that into the search bar on Facebook, and then you'll be able to find the group there.
That's awesome. He puts the Mick in McChesney. Oh, dude, thank you. Really, really appreciate it. It's great to see your face again, and thanks for bringing the heat today. Love it, and really, really grateful.
My friend, thank you for hanging out on this episode. If you enjoyed it, leave me a comment. Let me know what your big takeaway was. If you haven't rated this show, feel free to do that. You can do that at the Apple Podcast site or Spotify. Reviews are amazing. The better the review, the more amazing. But I think it all helps the algorithm, unless all we got was like, 1-star reviews. I'm not sure the algorithm would continue feeding that out to people. So appreciate any feedback you can give. And if there's anything I can do to help you as you're growing your video business, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me, Ryan, R-Y-A-N, at studiosherpas.com. That's .com. Does anybody know that reference? I'm like little Easter eggs. I'm just gonna like once in a while drop. So does anybody know that's .com? I'm not gonna do the voice because then that would really give it away. But curious if you know where that's from. And okay, here's your hint. It's pre-YouTube. Okay, so that's all. That's pre-YouTube, post me graduating high school. How about that? Let's give you that. All right, thanks for being here. Keep on climbing, my friend. We'll see you real soon. Bye for now.